Chapter 5. Rupa-Sikha did not take long to decide what was best for her. She said to the prince, "I will give you your golden arrow back if you promise to leave my country right now, before my father discovers that you are here." "No, no, no, 1,000 times no," cried the prince. "Now that I have already seen you, I can never ever imagine to leave you back. Can you not learn to love me and be my wife?" Then he fell at her feet and looked up into her face so lovingly that she could not resist him. She bent down towards him, and the next moment they were in each other's arms, quite forgetting all the dangers that threatened them. Rupa-Sikha was the first to remember her father, and drawing herself away, she said to him, "Listen to me, and I will tell you what we must do. My father is a magician, that is true, but I am his daughter, and I inherit some of his powers. If you only promise to do exactly what I tell, I think I may be able to save you and perhaps even become your wife. I am the youngest of a large family and my father's favorite. I will go and tell him that a great and mighty prince, hearing of his wonderful gifts, has come to our land to meet him. Then I will tell him that after seeing the young prince, I have fallen in love and want to marry you. He will be flattered to think his fame has spread so far and will want to see you, even if he dislikes the idea of me being your wife. I will lead you to his presence and leave you with him alone. If you really love me, you will find the way to win his consent. But you must keep out of his sight till I prepare the way for you. Come with me now, and I will show you a hiding place." Rupa-Sikha then led the prince far away into the forest and showed him a large tree, the wide spreading branches of which touched the ground, completely hiding the trunk, in which there was an opening large enough for a man to pass through. Steps cut in the inside of the trunk led down to a wide space underground, and there the magician's daughter told him to wait for her return. "Before I go," she said, "I will tell you my own password, which will save you from death if you are discovered. It is lotus flower, and everyone to whom you say it will know that you are under my protection." When Rupa-Sikha reached the palace, she found her father in a very bad humor because she wasn't around to check on his wound. She did her best to make up for her neglect, and when she had dressed the wound very carefully, she prepared a meal for her father, served it, and sat beside him till he finished it. All this pleased him, and he was in a quite pleasant mood when she told him, "Now I must tell you that I too have had an adventure. As I was gathering herbs in the forest, I met a man I had never seen before. A tall, handsome young fellow looking like a prince, who told me he was seeking the palace of a great and wonderful magician, of whose marvelous deeds he had heard. Who could that magician have been but you, my father?" she added. "I told him I was your daughter, and he requested me to try and arrange a meeting with you." Rupa-Sikha listened to all this without saying a word. He was pleased at this fresh proof that his fame had spread far and wide, but he guessed at once that Rupa-Sikha had not told him the whole truth. He waited for her to go on, and as she said no more, he suddenly turned angrily upon her and in a loud voice asked her, "And what did my daughter answer?" Then Rupa-Sikha knew that her secret had been discovered, and raising to her full height, she answered proudly, "I told him I would seek you and ask you to receive him. And now I will tell you, my father, that I have seen the only man I will ever marry. And if you forbid me to do so, I will take my own life, for I cannot live without him. Send someone for the man immediately, cried the magician, and you shall hear my answer when he appears before me. I cannot send, replied Rupa-Sikha, for no one knows where I have left him. Nor will I fetch him till you promise that no harm will come to him. At first, Agnishika laughed aloud and declared that he would do no such thing. But this, he knew that his daughter is as stubborn as he was. And finding that he could not get his own way unless he yielded to her, he said crossly, "He can keep his fine head on his shoulders and leave the palace alive, but that is all I will say." "But that is not enough," said Rupa-Sikha. "Promise me that you will not harm a single hair on his head, and you will treat him as an honored guest." At last, the magician promised, thinking to himself that he would find some way of disposing of Shringabhuja. The words she wanted to hear were hardly out of her father's mouth before Rupa-Sikha sped away, as if on the wings of winds, full of hope that all would be well. She found her lover anxiously waiting for her and quickly explained how matters stood. "It's better if you don't talk about me to my father at first, but only talk about him and all you have heard about him. If somehow you could get him to like you, he will want you to be around. Later, you can pretend that you must go back to your own land. This will make him anxious, and he will offer my hand to you and let you to live with us here.